And welcome back to GTV Breakfast. Follow our handles GTV Ghana everywhere and also interact with us via WhatsApp number 05555 I'm asking you to do so because this next conversation is about entrepreneurship, and I just know that you have many ideas after watching this interview and you would find need to reach out and ask questions of your own. So have that number saved on your phone and send your thoughts to us. We are talking entrepreneurship. The hope of every graduate student is to gain employment after school in order to ease the burden on parents, recoup the investment made in education, and live a four-wheeled life, as some call it. Unfortunately, statistics reveal that only 10% of graduates in Ghana get employment right after school, and it takes the remainder 10 years to secure permanent jobs. And generally, the unemployment rate in the country is high among the people of all walks of life. This means that other areas must be explored to address this shortfall, and that is where entrepreneurship comes in handy. Sitting with me today, a man of many parts, blazing the trail when it comes to entrepreneurship in the 21st century, a pharmacist by profession, an accomplished business executive, and an academician. So you think because he's book long, he's an academician with strong links to that field, his love for entrepreneurship would be a bit, but it's so high up there and it knows no bounds. All his children, we are told, were given vocational training, some trade in hairdressing and other stuff. So why did he make that decision? And we'll be getting to know a bit more about him and his personal life. We have at the table today the Nkabom Hene of New Jabing, who is known as Nana Dr. Michael Ejekum Ado. He's a CEO of Mikado Group of Companies at the table to share some insights. Nana, it's such an honor to have you join us here at the table today, and thank you for making the time.
Thank you.
A good morning to your people at New Jabing, near the Kofodia area. I'm sure they are happy to see you on the screens today. The man we are seeing today is not made overnight. It started from somewhere. Tell us what that journey has been like.
Thank you, Thelma. For the benefit of your viewers, I'll say that I come from one of the poorest homes in Ghana at the time. So if you check my background, and I'm 70 plus now, you realize that the journey hasn't been too smooth. So I try to give hope to the hopeless, and I'll pay tribute to Day to Me. If you remember one Day to Me, he really started encouraging me to portray the journey of entrepreneurship as far back as 2004 at National Theatre. And then there was another group that introduced Massem from nowhere to somewhere, from nobody to somebody. Massem was another program on TV3. Those periods were the time that I was telling the youth that let's make it. You can make it. Because I started from nowhere, from Sushen village near Koforidua. Going through life was difficult. No support. So SHS was difficult for me all the way up to the university. I started my business with nothing. So when I hear Ghanaians, I don't have money because my parents divorced. No. Those excuses, that's why I am here this morning.
What did you start?
Pharmacy in Kejetia. So whatever I did in that shop, I credited. So I started with nothing. But now, I'm
you went to people and asked them to give you resources.
Goods, like the furnishing was on credit. I did not pay advance rent because I knew the guy, the owner, okay? So he gave it to me on credit, got the place furnished on credit, got the goods on credit. So I emphasize now that reputation matters, and whatever is important is your good name.
Reputation
matters. So my definition for wealth or money is wisdom and people. How do you generate the network? And how do you let them be with you all through? Wealth is wisdom and people. seriously, and think about it. And for the past 40 years, it has helped me. And that's the message I give to Ghanaians. If you try to get rich quick, and you don't have the wisdom to handle it, you don't have the people to help you achieve it, they will all vanish.
Wisdom and people.
Yes,
That's how
wealth.
you overcame your challenges.
Yes, wisdom and people. If you are my friend, you will be my friend forever. I don't intend divorcing my wife, because we are the best of friends, because we were mates. So it goes into business, it goes into whatever. Wisdom and people, the network. How do you get somebody to be in your life and soon you become enemies? What did you do? What did he do? Why can't you tolerate? So these are the issues with my life.
What would you share about your personal life that would encourage someone with only an idea right now? All they have is a vision, is a dream.
Never give up. Determination, persistence, and ideas. I know a lot of graduates have ideas, but they fear. You must be resilient. You must be determined. So if you are watching me, and you are watching me with the fact that, oh, this man has made it, you can also make it, if you have the determination. I realize that Ghanaians are copycats. About 99%. They just copy what the other is doing. And to me, that is very wrong. You must have your own ideas and go into it and implement what you want to do. Or, you know, a friend will also share, and then they will just copy you.
But if it's a tried and tested method, why should someone else not also try? If it has worked for other people.
Why don't you try yours? You go to East Legon, a stretch of 1 kilometer. I counted 32 women selling roasted plantain. Why? Oh, because one of them started making it. So when they see the car pull up and then try to buy the roasted plantain, and then the other one will be sleeping, telling the husband, please, 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 I have seen that this woman is making it, because cars are pulling up and buying the cocoa, so I also want to roast plantain. How? To me, if you're a graduate, these are some of the areas that you have to watch. If people in Ghana prefer roasted plantain, why can't you open a shop? And this time, not outside, by the charcoal, by this time with an oven, inside, with music, with waiters and waitresses. And then you have the oven that to roast the plantain uniformly. You say, baby, ashi, no baby, amen. No. If you are able to do that, you create a business. So we'll come there.
You're talking about how to get ideas for a business.
Ideas.
Tell us more.
Many more. You see, because there are so many opportunities in this country. I see Ghana as paradise. Seriously. Everything that God gave us within the Bible is in Ghana. All types of animals, all types of plants, the weather, everything is in our favor. So why are we poor? Which means that we are not making use of our 5 sensory organs, our eyes, the nose, the ears, the taste, the feeling. All these things are to give us ideas. So if you want to use your eyes to see, television is one of them. Okay? The theater is another. Use your eyes to see. The artwork is eyes. So those are the business opportunities with your eye. Your taste, food, perfume, whatever. So I have written all these in this book, Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship. If you get this book, it will teach you the entrepreneurial mind that you need to have. What I have also observed within our country here is that meanwhile I've gone to school all the way up to university. All because the mind is not capturing the ideas, the opportunities. Every subject that you do, economics, medicine, engineering, architecture, all have business ideas. The moment you pick a course, it must have a career.
Did you study pharmacy in school?
Yes. Yes. But I started my business life at the age of 7.
Doing what?
Selling groceries at the village market. That's what I started doing. So all my life I was selling. My mother's job, she was a grocer. But when I got to 7 years, she fell ill. And she was in bed for 15 years. So there was no way she could help. So I took over the business.
You put yourself through school?
Yes.
With that business?
Of course. Thelma, is it the first time of you listening to me? I have a whole book on it. Seriously.
Someone is watching you right now and they are just hearing the story for the first time. So sometimes we ask some of these things so someone can establish
so that can
a link. Then they are reminded that Mikado did not just come out of thin air.
They should never give up.
You talk about having an entrepreneurial mind.
Yes.
And using what you've studied in school as a basis to have, or an avenue to, bring up an idea for a business.
Yes.
Is that what you did for your children when all of them got some kind of vocational training?
Yes. Along the line, I had now finished university. I'm a pharmacist, and I wanted to open my shop, 1986, in KJTia, Kumasi. I realized that just to be a pharmacist does not make you a rich man. But you have to have ideas. You have to have many more opportunities that I could see, that I could hammer on. That helped me. So all my business life from age 7 till when I was about 28, I realized that the groceries that I was selling, I should bring those ideas into the pharmacy. So in Kumasi, the people are so, I don't know how to describe them, but they are very proud people. So anybody that was entering my shop, if you were a woman, Nahima, Nanahima, Queen Mother. If you were a man, Oyene, Nana, and that attracted these people to me. That's my marketing skills. Then down to earth, humility is also important. You have to be humble to the people, to your customers. Then religiously, I also saw these customers as my God. Now we talk about God. Have you ever met him? Have you seen him? It is me talking to you now. You are my God. Blessed are those who have pure heart, for they shall see God. Fili. Meanwhile, you've been a Christian for all these years. I talk about God, but you've never met him. So I could see my customers as my God. So when you are entering, see Nakopo, una obey, midawase. Then I open up all the knowledge that I have acquired from the university to pour onto you, to make sure that you be a better person. Because you are sick. So by the time you leave me, I would have impacted. So I had our thick book called Martindale. Whatever it is, I'll refer to the book, which tells me my pharmacology, the drug and the disease and your body. I'll read it to you. And so they were calling me. I work at drugstore now on the book. It was on the counter, and I was on the counter for 10 years. These days, pharmacists are in their offices. No, I wasn't in the office. I was on the counter. So when you come, you make sure you meet the pharmacist. We have studied. It shouldn't be your niece or your nephew on the counter. No, I was on the counter myself. So these were some of the things that I used to do. I realized that I should impart this information to my children. We are talking about 30 years ago. I could see ahead from my entrepreneurial mindset that my mom had taught me that there will be a time that there will be no jobs. I could see. So you, my girl, you have just finished JHS. You have to sell in the streets so that you can gather the marketing skills. Oh, that, how? I said, you have to. And I was making sure that they sell in the street. Either towels or Coca-Cola or whatever.
How did that make the people around you feel? How did it make your children feel?
Up to today, a lot of people don't understand me. But right now, a lot of people are also copying.
Because you're a pharmacist, why are your children selling?
So that's what they were saying. How? I said, if you don't do it, you don't eat in the house. Because I could see, to have an entrepreneurial mind is to be able to prophesy the future. And my children, 9 of them, they went to good schools.
I know you have 9 children.
Yes. SOS Minor, Opokuwari, Pempe College, Holy Child. They have their mates.
And they will still have to go and sell in the market.
You have to. So after JHS, you sell in the street. Form 1, holidays, you be a hairdresser. Boy or girl, you have to go. So if you are watching me, please don't pamper your children. Say television and mobile phone and a computer. And I don't know, but it has paid very well to me. So they go to hairdressing salon where their mom goes. So Emanuela in Kumasi, I signed a contract with her that every holiday for my children, one of them will come, especially the boys.
Did they like it?
Initially they resist. Oh, Dad, you are humiliating us. Our mates are doing this. You can afford to take us abroad. I say, if you don't do it, and those are the boys on the television. And the far left is the human resource manager, Peduasi Resort. The second one is a marketer. Third one is an architect in Canada. Fourth one is a master's degree in tourism. And the right one, Kofi Krom, is also a doctor in pharmacy. Meanwhile, they all did hairdressing, electricals. The following year, you do electricals. And then the following year, you'll be a mechanic, fitting. And I'll come and make sure that you are under the car. How I wish they could also put on one of the photos of one of my girls as a mechanic.
She's a mechanic.
She was.
She trained
as a mechanic. Before you get to the university, you must go to Brass Steven. And Brass Steven will teach you the rudiments of the car, the machine that you are going to use in future. Seriously. And all of them went through it. So you could drive by the time you get to the university. Between SS and the university, you must be a mechanic. And these are the girls. The far left is a pharmacist. The second one, on my right, she's also a pharmacist, but she's doing a baby food now called Arise. And I want her to join me. Said, "Da, I'm okay." She's also an entrepreneur. The other one on my left is a medical officer from Kolebu. Now she's practicing in Atlanta, Georgia. And the last one on my right, the one in red shorts, is a computer engineer, trainer, Legon. All of them went through this vocational training, and they tell me now that, "Dad, you have done well for us." And their husbands are so proud of them because they understand. I visited the medical officer in Atlanta, and the bulb in my washroom was off. So I called her. "Efia, the bulb is on." I said, "Oh, Dad, don't worry." She went for a ladder, then she changed the bulb. And she told me that if my husband were to be here, in fact, I wouldn't have done it. Because she said he always teases me that my hair are obakokoni. I expect Ghanaian men to have value and respect for their women or their wives if they can do a lot of things. They are a resource to us. But because of the confidence that they have, And the knowledge that they have so much, most men cannot stand it. No, they are just helping you.
The same men who say Obato Tua.
Actually, Bemabo, on Femetrobo. How? Almost bet you have to be. Yes, and to I want to do. Almost bet you have to be. I expect the men to respect them because they have the knowledge.
Nana, I wish we could,
go on and on and on.
Why did you bring these up? I understand the books, but you have other things on the table. Tell us why you brought them.
This is the brain, your brain. This is how it looks like. And I want you to stretch it because the undulation of the veins and the arteries, if you can stretch it, it go all the way to Burkina Faso. That's the way God made us. And then it's also divided as a line here, left and right. Science has shown that they work differently. The left-hand side of the brain takes care of logic, analysis, arithmetic, arguments. Why are you telling me this? So the more we argue on air, on the television, at home, it means that we are using our left-hand side of the brain only. The right does different things. The right imagines. The right dreams. The right is for color. It's for music and rhythm. Now, if you don't know this, and you hammer on the left, that's the academic way, which Ghanaians have, from Accra to Paga, Aflao to Elubo. We are all academicians. We are all argumentative, because left-hand side of the brain is what we have hammered on. And that's why we are poor. I want to emphasize. You Google left-hand side of the brain and the right-hand side imaginative brain, and you see all the information on it. So it's about time Ghanaians hammered on the right-hand side to be entrepreneurial. Because the right-hand side is for color. Now you have a plain sheet. This plain sheet, you see that the artist can make something that will give you an idea of a market. If they give it to you, you with your left academic mind, you can't do it. So we have to have value. Now you see an art. He has drawn President Kufuor. You admire it. Oh, I did the FO. But nothing tells you to go and buy it. Now, if something pushes you and you ask for it, oh, Charlie, President Kufuor, he says 5,000. Immediate reaction is, we are 5,000. Because your mind does not appreciate artwork. Your right mind is not working. You just say, we are. So artists at schools, we rather look down upon them. But 21st century, I'm telling everybody that is for art. This studio, how you have designed here, is art. So as you watch the television, you see the background. You might think that it's a whole town, but it's the artists, the graphic designers that have made what it is. This dress was made by my wife's cousin, a girl, and she sews. And she's so artistic that look at the buttons, how it vanishes within the chameleon type. She's a lady. I'm encouraging her to sew for Nana Akufo-Addo, to sew for whoever, those big ones. So we are going to sew and give it to Thelma one of these days. Then you mention Dr. Addo's house help is doing all this. A girl. She has gone all the way to the university to learn. I'm saying that possibilities are here, my dear. The right-hand side of the brain. Go and dance. There's music at a party. You get stuck into your chair. Oh, Debbie, the ferry, Minko. Your right-hand side of the brain is not working. Why is our parent telling us, say, go and dance Asaboni in Kumasasi? So they were more scientific. They were more entrepreneurial. But these days, if it's not gospel music, the person will never dance. It's not true. Dance to any music, and it will be opening your right-hand side of the brain. If we have children, you have a baby, and put it in front of you. When you are carrying them, you carry in front of you. You are destroying the mindset the entrepreneurial mind of your child. Seriously. You have to put her at your back, boy or girl. Your heartbeat, your heart is nearer your back than your front. Look at your breast. Eh? And you put that baby in front of you like kangaroo. You are not kangaroos. Put the person at the back. Now, your heartbeat, boom, 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 gives the rhythm to the child. It means that the child's mind, the right hand side of the mind, is opening. So for the next 3 years that you have this child at your back, you are helping the child. Now they are crawling. They start to crawl. The mother will definitely go and pick the child, put the child at the back. He will be crying. Then leave me alone to develop my right hand side of my brain. You will not allow. And the more he cries, the more you tighten. Allow me. And that's why you and I, we don't have the entrepreneurial mind. Allow the child. So the rationale or the excuse is that he will enjoy, they'll be hurt. No. Just make sure that the sitting room is big enough. And now start to watch. Those watching me, just make a research on your child that is crawling. He goes this way, comes back. Without any pattern. That is the mindset. That's what the computer is doing now. You can stretch your brain from here to London. Now that you are sitting here, you can see the face of your mind.
What's in the other bottle?
Right hand side of the brain is what I'm talking about. Now you want to shift. So you realize that time is not on your side, even for me to crawl, to develop my right hand side.
It's a fast-paced world. And that's one of the things that is harming us.
Of course. Even though I agree that time is money. But to explain for people to understand how to train their children to become entrepreneurial is what I'm discussing. So that we have to leave our children when they are crawling. When they start to write at the age of 2 or 3, let them write. Let them destroy the wall.
They are scribbling on the walls, crayons everywhere.
Allow them to open the right hand side of the brain. And now, if you have developed your right hand side of the brain, tell me, then I'm asking you, how did this orange get into this bottle? How?
I am baffled.
Yes, but he entered it without destroying the orange nor the bottle.
How did that happen?
Exactly. Because you were not allowed to crawl anyhow. You can't imagine how this one entered.
Did you squeeze it? It doesn't look squashed or anything. So how do you think this got
inside
it?
It requires the entrepreneurial mind. It requires your right hand side of your brain to think. And now, if I teach you how it entered, I'll give you a homework as to how to get it out. If you are able to get it out, I'll give you 500 cedis. So I'll give my number on the television. Whoever is able to tell me how this orange can come out, I'll give you 500
Listen,
cedis.
we are going to put this on our social media handle. I told you at the beginning of this interview, if you're not following GTV Ghana, you may be missing out on more than you think. Nana has thrown a challenge out there. There's an orange in a bottle. How did it get in there? And how can we get it out? 500 cedis for anyone who is able to give Nana the correct answer.
To get it out. Okay. To get it in, every orange tree starts with flowers. If it wants to bear fruits, start with flowers. And the flowers will then pull down. The petals will fall. Then you see a bud. Then at that time, you can fix this bottle on it. So you have the bud in it. On the tree. Then you hang it on the branch. And you allow it. Okay? It will start to grow 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks with the entrepreneurial mind, imaginative mind. You allow it. It gets to a time that it cannot come out. Then you plug it.
Solid.
If you want to clap. Otherwise, it's all jealousy.
Listen, I would say instinctively, I would say cut the bottle and bring the fruit out, but that's
without destroying the bottle nor the orange. Now, how do you get it out? And I can do it.
That's the homework
for
all of you. And if you're able to predict that correctly, We'll bring Nana. We'll get you in touch with Nana, so you get your 500 Ghana Cedi reward. And this challenge is going on our social media handles, GTV Ghana. You should follow us first before you attempt to solve the question. Nana, we are quickly running out of time. But what's your advice to young people who have graduated? They are out there looking for jobs, looking for ideas. They want to enter into a world of business, but perhaps they do not have the reputation that you had, which you used to start your own business. Perhaps they do not have the marketing skills that you talked about and the needed experience with customer service. What can they do? How do they start their own businesses?
The first thing is to get a copy of this book.
Where can people get copies?
Kingdom Books and Mikado Pharmacies. They should develop a character, which this book also talks about, the 7 principles of success and wealth creation. You require a certain type of character. It is in this book. Like our time, we are not time conscious. We always give excuses. This book says no excuse whatsoever in your life. You shouldn't give any excuse. It will make you a better person, not only being an honest person, but a reliable person. In your home, among your friends, at school, at church, you must be seen to be a reliable person. That's the beginning of success, of wealth creation. Number 2, hard work. I realize Ghanaians, we go to work at 8, we close at 5, and that's it. To me, that's normal work. You are not working hard. Hard work is what do you do before 8 and what do you do after 5. If you add that to your normal work, that becomes hard. If you were in Europe, winter time, nobody will go to work, because when it rains, the students will not go to class. The teacher thinks that because it has rained, so nothing works in Ghana. But rain or shine, we must work. Number 3, don't spend it all. We don't have the savings culture. You are here, you are being given 1,500, and you go to the accounts department for IOU. Why? Why should that be? 1,500 to me is too much even.
In today's Ghana?
Yes. You must be able to save 200, 300. You can insult me, but I know you must be able to live on 600, 500. And I'll teach you how, behind the scenes, not on television.
Because I'm thinking for those of us who have friends who live far and further away from work, who have to pay transport to even get here. Transport is taking more than half of that 1,500, and food has not even come in, and the bills, water, electricity have not even come in yet. So I'm wondering what those tips are. I'm very interested in finding out.
Good. So the right answer with the brain will imagine all these problems that you are talking about, and then you pick 5% of your myriad of problems. You hammer on the 5, and then 95% of that will take care of itself. The first thing is getting the book, and then your savings culture is where we got to. The 4 will be investment. What do you have to invest in to triple and quadruple your income? There are so many techniques that this cameraman can make so much money after here. But after here, he goes home and sleeps. Why don't you go to that wedding? This weekend that you are off, add it to it. You make extra income. Why don't you write a book on cameras? How to take camera at the studio? And challenge your cameramen whether they have thought of writing a synopsis or a book or something for JHS, for primary school. Have they been able to tell themselves, oh, let me go to my former school and teach them how to use the camera at the studio? I challenge them. They don't. They don't have the ideas. Tell me. If you go to Prepper College or Achimota or Accra Girls, whatever, and tell them how it is to be a presenter, and then you write something on it, about 20-page presentation, can't you sell it? Can't you sell it on Amazon with your picture at the back, like this? People will call you. You can be an MC.
Nana,
can't you? You can be a hairdresser You can open a Kalewele snack shop, can't you? To add to your business.
Endless possibilities. You want us to think outside the box.
Exactly.
Experiences being shared at the table. No excuses. Work hard. Don't spend it all, and think investment if you want to be an entrepreneur. Doctor is telling us that reputation is important, marketing skills are important, humility is important, and customer service is also important. These are principles he shares in his books. You can get copies at Kingdom bookshops across the country, or any Mikado pharmacy across the country. You can get his books as well, and you have the opportunity to learn the fundamentals of entrepreneurship and more, and you can get ideas on how to create wealth. Nana, thank you for making the time.
Good.
Nana, Dr. Michael Ejekumado is the CEO of Mikado Group of Companies, and he's also the Inkabom Hene of New Jabeng. So a man of peace who is into entrepreneurship. We appreciate your time spent with us this morning. I've certainly learned a lot, and I'll come for the behind-the-scenes tutorial that you promised. It is possible to have it all as an entrepreneur. You just need the right fundamentals, and Nana is able to offer some insight into how to do that. We really appreciate your
And
spending
my number
the
for
time.
those who make the homework.
Share it with us.
0244 41
41
71
71
71.
71. So that's your opportunity. If you have an answer to how we can get that orange out of the box without damaging the box, that's the question.
orange,
Isaac.
not the
It's a
bottle.
puzzle. You don't damage the orange and you don't damage the box. Our social media handles will put those that information there. You can also reach Nana on 0244 41 7171.
Exactly.
And you can also pick his thoughts on how you can also become a prolific entrepreneur like he is, starting from a poor home and educating 9 children to become professionals who are also entrepreneurs and who have skills in other vocations like hairdressing and mechanics and all that. So a lot that you can learn from this great man. And thank you for coming along on this conversation with us. The breakfast show is not over. There's one last thing we want to do to put a smile on your face before you go home, and it's to do with the right side of the brain, and it's to do with appreciating music after this break.
Thank you.